Okay, welcome back from the break. My name is Paulin Hansen. I'm a professor at DTU Management Engineering, actually in the same division as Stagney, Balder, and Martin, who just gave a presentation on social robots. I'll also be talking a bit about robots, but first and foremost, I'll be talking about how to interact in virtual reality with your full body. Well, let me be a little bit more specific. I will be mostly focusing on how to interact with virtual reality using your eyes. Also, I would claim that it's not really virtual reality that's the interesting thing here, it's augmented reality. So in many ways, we can see virtual reality system as the one you can try in there as a stepstone towards the next technology breakthrough that will be you having your mobile phone right in front of you all the time as a pair of smart glasses that you can see through. And I've been partly involved in this technology for more than 30 years. I started working with gaze tracking many years ago, and I had a research group at the IT University of Copenhagen, which developed this eye tracker in a spin-out company called the iTribe. The iTribe was bought by Facebook Oculus just about 1 year ago. And the iTribe is not the only gaze tracking company that have been acquired by some of these deep pocket Californian companies. For instance, Google, they bought a company called iFluence, and just recently Apple bought a German company called Sensomotoric Instruments, and they are all experts in developing gaze tracking for virtual reality systems and augmented reality smart glasses. Now, why do they spend some of their money on acquiring these companies? Because gaze tracking is a crucial technology for these systems. If you want to get rid of the wire that powers the glasses, you should find a way to reduce power consumption. And the most efficient power reduction you can do now would be by only showing the displays in high resolution just where people are looking. And for doing that, you need to track their eyes. You can actually save 35% of power consumption in smart glasses if you only show high resolution at the fixation point. And you won't notice because in the periphery of your vision, you can't see details anyway. So it looks like a complete crystal clear image, just it would only update the pixels in the highest resolution just where you are looking. Then also, you can use your eyes as a way to interact in augmented and virtual reality. And this is what we are focusing on. And I would like to show you now a video in which we are applying gaze tracking for the control of a remote reality robot, we call them. And in this case, you use a headset to get the video stream from a robot driving around, being your avatar, being your presence at another location. And we need the eyes to control this whole process. So let me show how this works. If I can just find my cursor. Where is it? I hate this. Space? Okay, oh, here it goes.
The Fold head-mounted display is equipped with eye tracking and is placed on the user. The pink circle on the monitor functions as a cursor, which indicates the user's gaze point. A user may interact with the robot via an interface that contains several functions, such as a map and an augmented reality keyboard for text messaging. Routes to destinations can be programmed via gaze selection on the map. The user may create and edit waypoints, which the robot uses to navigate to the user's desired destination. Once the route is entered, the robot autonomously navigates to the programmed destination with the help of its integrated collision avoidance system. After the robot reached its destination, the user can once again control the robot via gaze in order to explore their full environment in 360 degrees.
Fine.
The robot may also be operated by a user from a wheelchair locomotion device, which uses a joystick in addition to gaze selection.
What you just saw here, her looking down, is a very nice example of how immediately people, they pick up this fact that they are now seeing the world from a robot. So she knows intuitively that when she has to pass an obstacle, she has to look down because that's where her sort of basis of the robot is. So that's why she's looking down. We never told her to do that. She figured that out immediately. So the brain simply snaps over and becomes that robot. It's like when you take off the headset, you have to readjust the soundscape, and that's a quite weird experience. You've just been looking at yourself, and you know it's me sitting there, but I am there, and you take it off, and the sound is not correct anymore. This headset, by the way, is a $700 Japanese headset with built-in gaze tracking. It's the first example of a commercial headset with built-in gaze tracking. The wheelchair we used for the last part in this video is a very simple setup here, about 1,000 kroners, that allows people in wheelchairs to explore virtual reality. And let me show you an example of a small game we developed for that. It's the main building of the DTU campus, and we loaded that model into Unity, and then we added the possibility to interact with gaze there. So imagine, for instance, that objects would respond to them. If you look at them and then you nod, they would open up, or in this case, the wheelchair ramp will come down when I fixate it. And I'll be driving up. I'm, in this case, using an electrical wheelchair, not a manual wheelchair, but just the rolling of the wheels give me a bodily sensation that I'm actually moving. It's incredible that this small vibration from the seat makes my brain accept that now I'm in a wheelchair in a virtual world in a complete different way than if I was just sitting or standing. So this is a dream of a lot of people driving a wheelchair, that you could move all of those spikes that people leave around in Copenhagen by just glancing them. Another study that we just did recently is this one, in which we use a bike simulator to analyze how people how people would be able to type in a pair of augmented reality glasses. If I could get it there. Yeah. So I need to start it here. So what we see here is Nils driving on this exercise bike and typing sentences with his eyes, and then he's got a button on the hands of the wheel, and as he moves down the road, he get a flow field to distract, or you could say have an impact possibly on that interface that he's operating here. And we can measure how fast can he type, how many errors will he make, what would be the differences of different designs of these keyboards. For instance, if the keyboard is larger than view that you would have to move your head, would that have an impact on your efficiency and the error rate also? And yes, you can probably hear it's a bit slower than when everything was just right in front of him. So we show for the first time that there is a significant effect of having a display larger than view compared to just right in front of you. This next video is a project we did with Lego, where we measured with the use of this gaze tracker how people could interact by gaze using a building instruction. So this could be a perfect example. Could someone turn down the sound, please? Yeah, no, cut it off because it will come back again. Downey, could you do that? Thank you. This is a perfect example of a task that would be obvious to have a pair of augmented reality glasses. Imagine assembling an IKEA furniture where you would have all of the information right there in front of you, and it would even be able to read how long in the process you have come. Now you could become an expert. You could even become a mechanic doing your own car, because you would get online intelligent instructions showing you exactly what dots to turn and what to do next. This could have a revolutionary impact on the way that we would be teaching people, on the way we would assist people remotely in a huge range of complicated tasks like we cannot do today, but that we will be able to do when we get that real online and on the object instructions on what to do next. This is an experiment we did in order to analyze what could we measure, not only when seeing where people are looking at the instruction, but also when measuring their pupil dilations. Because when people are really on a high cognitive load, either because it's difficult or they are frustrated, you would see a small dilation of the pupils. And what we saw with these kids, we had more than 50 of them building a model. It took it about a quarter of an hour, and we could see a very gradually decline in their pupil during the building process, because they started out being very excited, and then sort of once they got on with the task, the excitement slowed down a bit. In certain cases, when they made a mistake and they had to step back, would they increase the pupil again? And that made a significant difference that we could measure here. Compared to when they stepped forward and backwards, there was a significant difference in the pupil sizes. So now we get a real time, within 300 millisecond information on how high cognitive load are people experiencing right now. This is probably as promising to psychology and pedagogical practice as when doctors were able to measure heart rate. This gives us a real-time information on how much activity is going on in the head, but without mounting EEG or any other extra equipment on people. We already have the eye tracker built into the smart glasses. This is information we get for free. Okay, I'd like to finish up this small talk with a job announcement. Should any one of you be Unity programmers or know a Unity programmer that would be interested in working in one of our research projects, please contact me. We could use a couple of Unity programmers, and they will be able to work from home. Also, they will be able to get to play with a lot of interesting toys, and especially they would get to work with remote reality robots. Okay, thank you.